Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Be the Change podcast. I'm Ashley.
I'm Melissa.
And today we're just going to kind of dive in. We are all the way up to, I think when I was looking back, we're on episode 16 now. So we're kind of,
Oh, wow.
moving along. We could be further along, but with my crazy schedule, things just keep
Well,
happening.
yeah, you had to have a human, and that takes a little
Yeah,
bit of effort. So, woohoo,
just a little bit.
congratulations.
But thank you. I'm no longer pregnant. So, whew,
Yeah.
as much as I enjoyed it, I'm also glad to now have the baby here and not the belly. So
Yes, me too, because I can grab the baby better than,
yeah,
the belly, because that's just weird, you know.
it's always awkward too when the baby starts kicking, and I'm like, "Ooh, feel this," and then you put your hand there and like nothing's happening. So, but
Right,
anyways,
yeah.
that's like a whole different topic. So, but we are on episode 16.
Yeah.
And today we are going to dive deeper into, I believe our last episode, we got into a conversation of Jesus being a relationship person. And so today we're going to dive more into that and just kind of see where the conversation takes us as far as Jesus and relationships. So, with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to you and let you start talking about it.
Okie doke. Maybe I'll make sense. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, you've spent your entire life in church and you've probably been to a million, in my opinion. I've been to like three. I'm not one to just go and visit churches. I'm very shy. I know it's hard to believe, but I am. I don't want the attention on me. I don't want the whole fill out the envelope and we're gonna hound you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if there's more people like that out there. Surely I am not the only one that feels that way. So I don't have like a ton of knowledge as far as churchy people, if you will. But I've seen it. I've dealt with people who claim to be Christian and to know Jesus, and then they're doing or saying or behaving particular ways that doesn't go in line with what I'm reading. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, what is. So that's really what got my brain going to want to do the podcast with you to begin with. Was it's really not, it doesn't have to be like that. I think it is like that probably no matter where you go. I don't know, if you've got experiences throughout your life where you know what I'm saying. Um, but people make it way more complicated than it needs to be. Like, Jesus was about community and relationships and building like the groundwork. I don't really know what I'm trying to say about that, but he wanted people together. He wanted to teach people the different things, and he wanted everybody to love each other, to get along. And yes, that's very hard to do when you're putting yourself first, but when you take a back seat and you step back and you concern yourself maybe with how somebody else is doing, maybe walking in their faith. Are they struggling? Are they good? Do they have tips that maybe they could share with me? Most people are not like that at church. Like, I didn't have that experience anyway. Like, people didn't. I'm not quite sure how I wanted to, where I was going with that. Like, when people are new to faith, right? Maybe not. I feel like I do. Like, I can see somebody and they're kind of new. They're not quite sure where to go or what step to do next or whatever. And I was that person. Like, okay, yeah, I read my Bible, but sometimes it doesn't make sense. So I'm trying to teach myself and I'm going to church and I'm listening to the sermon and I'm learning, you know, but then I come home and I'm like, well, some of it makes sense, but not really. And then I'd have a tendency to just shut the book because, well, if it doesn't make sense, then what do I need to read it for? And I get it, but it doesn't have to be that way. Like, we are supposed to be the community that comes together to learn about Jesus and then go out in the world and show the people who he was by who we are, not anything else. We are supposed to be the hands and feet of Jesus. And you can't do that if you're not trying to learn who he was, who he is.
And I do think it was like, I can't remember if it was the last episode we did or like 2 episodes ago where we kind of got into a conversation about discipleship.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that, you know, I still believe that that's a huge gap that's missing in the church.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what you were talking about is like when people don't know, but then you get to a point where you don't feel comfortable going and asking or seeking for help because of how we are seeing certain things happen in the church. And I know for
Right.
myself, I was raised a preacher's or a pastor's kid, PK, and so is my husband. So we get it from both sides. And when you grow up in a church like that, you see church at a whole different angle and light. Because essentially, you know, the pastor, if issues start happening or arising or whatever it is, you know, the pastor sometimes is the first to go or pushed out by people in the church. And so unfortunately, I have seen a lot of those behaviors in a church where you do start questioning. You're like, why would people do that? Why would they act that way? And then while you were talking, I wrote down a few notes because I feel like a lot of this goes in. This is actually a conversation I had with somebody recently about, it's interesting how church is, because church is, we were supposed to be a body of Christ together. And it doesn't really matter ultimately what physical building you go to, but I often feel, this is just me personally, that people get extremely territorial over their church building, and then they become really selfish in decisions, and they try and claim it's in the name of God or that they're doing certain things because they feel led. And I'm like, but I feel like it has become a competition from one church to the next, and it is a territory, like just a selfish desire over their space. And I may be saying that because of the situation I recently went through where I was pushed out of a church, and I'm like, I just feel like it becomes more about it just, church can quickly become something for the wrong reasons, unfortunately. And like when you were talking, I was just hearing that, is it's like, sometimes when you do talk to people and you're like, do you believe in God? And they're like, well, I do, but I don't go to church because of, and it's always like a person or a situation that happened. And that is so unfortunate, because it shouldn't matter if you go to this First Baptist church of this town or if you go to this little old, like, it doesn't matter. We're all church. We're all bodies of Christ. We should be working together for the unity of him. And I just feel like that's just gotten lost.
Right. 100% I agree with that, yes. And that's exactly correct. Territorial. You're right. And I never thought of it that way. But looking
That was
now,
probably really harsh for me to say.
well, harsh may be right, but it's true either way. And sometimes the truth kind of stings a little bit, you know. That's not what we're supposed to be for the common goal together for one reason and one reason only. And that's to love one another. And that's to show each other and everybody else what Jesus looked like. Sometimes I'm the only one that they'll ever encounter that's going to show them who Jesus was. And now I'm not saying that because that's who I am. I'm just using myself as a generalization because Lord knows, don't start with me because.
No, I agree.
You know.
I feel like that's a good mentality to have. It's kind of like a self-check, because I did that all the time, like as a teacher too. And I'm like, okay, especially like in any teaching job that I had. But like when I was in middle school and those were older kids, and I'm like, I may be the only example that they see. I don't know. I don't know what they see when they leave here, but it is my job to portray what I can of Jesus. And so it's just a good mentality and like self-check to have, to
Yeah.
just remind yourself, like, how am I acting and how are people seeing me? And am I
Right.
really showing Jesus? Because we have
Yes.
examples of Jesus and his behavior in the Bible. So we have a good example of how we should be acting, behaving, talking, speaking, like all of that.
Right.
So am I
Right.
showing that? Just like you said, am
Right.
I showing Jesus in my life? Period.
Right. 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 And for me, I'm a visual learner. Like when I see somebody do it, the
Me
math
too.
problem, the spelling, whatever, then I can do
Yeah.
it. But if I'm not seeing it, then I don't know how to do it, right? Which actually leads me to what we're coming up with next to do. Because, okay, so some people know that for many years, 7 years, I was a multi-level marketer, if you will. And a lot of people frown on that. Like they hear that and they're like, the devil's coming,
Mm-hmm.
and I get it, whatever. Um, I made a little money. Was I successful? Depends on how you would define that. For me,
How do
I
you
was
measure
wildly,
success? Yeah.
yeah, I was wildly successful. Did I make
Mm-hmm.
money? Let me throw it out there, okay? Yeah, I probably made at the end of the year doing the taxes, right? $1,000 for a whole year, which is not wildly successful in today's terms, right? I mean, $1,000,
Mm-hmm.
really? Come on, what? And I put in a lot of work for that. Now, that is, of course, after all of my deductions and all the things. So, I mean, my bottom line still made out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was never there to sell skincare. I know that. I knew that back then. I know that 100% now because of everything that happened last year with it, and here I am. But what I learned about myself, about other people, about how churchy people are not always churchy people. There really are good, Jesus following, God fearing Christians still out there. And had I not done Rodan and Fields, I would have never learned that. Never.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have spoke about us all getting together and going to a training at Billy Graham Training Center a couple of years ago. And Ashley, I'm talking about I knew a handful of people. And Melissa,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I don't go places to meet strangers. But I went because there was something about those women that, I mean, I had never seen nothing like it before. And it just was very intriguing. But I get there and a room full of women, and you know how women are. Woo! And they're all trying to run their own businesses, right? They're all trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
for their families and all the thing. Everybody had a different reason for being there. But when we were there, you had no idea that we each had our own thing because we were all together. Like we all truly came together. And but for those women, I wouldn't know who Jesus is. I would not know that. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, because I'm a visual learner, I could read my Bible 1,000,001 times. But had I not had that example, I still wouldn't know. Like I would maybe kind of comprehend it, But if I'm not seeing it actually happen, like, I don't know what that means, right? And I could just be a slow learner because, um, but I've encountered a lot of people who are Christian who now I have a guide of what really that looks like. And these were women who, built you up if you were having a lousy day, or, led you to a scripture to encourage you, or whatever the case may be. But if you weren't participating, they weren't hounding. And when you were ready again, they were there with open arms, like you'd never left. And I'm like, something's wrong with these people. For a long time, I felt that way. I'm like, this is not real. I'm waiting, because one of these days, they're not going to act that way. And, I'm still waiting, because they're still acting that way. It's true. It's real. And it's out there. And people can have that kind of a relationship with others if they want it. And that's where we come in. I want to invite people. We're going to do a challenge coming up very soon. Well, let me take that back. We're going to be doing a challenge starting today, right? Because it's August 1st.
Yes. Yes.
But I want to build that community. I want to, if there's women out there, and I say more women, men too, whatever, it doesn't matter. Everybody needs to know what Jesus looked like. So I don't care who you are. But we are women, and we know how to build up women because we are women.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
so
we
it's just
speak a little
easier
bit
that way.
more. Yeah, we
Right.
speak
But,
a little bit more
if
to
you
the
got
women crowd.
you got
Yeah.
men friends, husband, want to bring them to, whatever. Everybody can benefit, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
But that's what I want. I want to show people that they don't have to live the way they're living. There is hope. There's help. There are people willing to listen when, you need an ear or a shoulder or whatever. And I want to open that door. So we're going to do a challenge. We're going to start with that. Because if I'm the only one holding myself accountable for reading my Bible, I'm going to give myself a pass every day. Oh, girl, it's okay. Today it's okay. We'll get it tomorrow. It's okay. And while that's all right to do every now and again, you'll never get it done if you don't have an accountability partner. And I think those are very important. So I want to do that too. I want to be the accountability partner that you may need, or, whatever. But a habit is formed, what do they say, 30 days? You can form a habit if you do it every day. Isn't that right? Something like that.
I've heard different numbers, but honestly, it's like, yes, if for a month, if you consistently do the same habit, you're going to have, habit build, essentially.
Yes. And I think with the challenge, I think a lot of people struggle with opening their Bible. We spoke about this the last time I think we were talking. They just have difficulty, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever. You had suggested, leave your Bible open so that it's always available, which is good. But even for me, I have to schedule everything. And I didn't know this about myself until my Rodan Fields. Like everything. I have to schedule my Bible reading time. I have to basically schedule my shower time. Like, I know that's a little bit over the top, but if I don't, you know what? If it's not on the schedule, I'm not doing it. I mean, yeah, I'll smell myself eventually, be like, oh, where's that on the list?
Yeah, I need to take a shower.
Yeah, but no, for real, like the dishes, I write it all down. Otherwise, it doesn't get done because I'm like, I don't have a list. I got nothing to do. And I for real believe that. And, I'm not 12 anymore. So you need to stop that, right? So I try and I write everything down. But for me, if it's written down and I know I've got to do it or it's on my list of things to do, I'll do it. because there's something satisfying about putting that check mark or scribbling it out or whatever, for
Yeah.
me. It's like, woo! I even write stuff after I've written my list of things that I did in between because, the more I can check off, the better I feel. But reading my Bible is very important. And for me, if I don't schedule the time, I'm not going to do it. So I want to be that encouragement that people may need to just form the habit of opening the Bible every day, whenever you have time on your schedule, in the morning, in the evening, whatever, because it doesn't matter. And if you want to do the challenge with us, then great. And if you want to come and you want to just peek to see what we're doing, well, you know what? That's fine too. You'll catch us the next time. But just come, just show up. If you decide you don't want to do
Yeah,
anything, then don't do it. No pressure.
and the way and the way that this is going to work too, this is important to me too, because with the challenge that we're going to do, it's going to give a verse, but it's also going to give like a task to do with it, which I feel
Yes.
like is really important because we may read the Bible, but do we actually like practice applying it? But then also we are going to focus on Proverbs 31, so Proverbs 31 woman. And I feel very strongly about this because in today's world, I feel like so many things are just essentially messed up. And
Yes.
I feel like there's been a lot of terminology that's been twisted for evil.
Yes.
And especially like when you read through Proverbs 31, and as we break this down, because this is going to be like our ongoing podcast, is we're going to break down each verse. And I find a lot of people, I've heard some nasty comments be made about women in Bible terminology, like submission or being
Right.
noble. And it's like, do we even really know what those words mean? Or are
Right.
we just thinking that that's making us less than our husband, which is
Right.
incorrect?
Right.
That's not biblical truth. And so
Right.
I'm excited about diving into Proverbs 31 because I want to break down words and I want to truly explain what the Bible says about women and how strong we are and the
Yeah.
importance of our job and our role for our husbands, our household, ourselves.
Yeah.
And so I really like what we've created that y'all will see every day on social media.
Yeah.
It will have a verse breakdown. It'll have a little snippet that goes with it. And it'll be like, today do such and such.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're really
Very
hoping
simple.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very, very simple. And just a simple thing every day. And then if you comment that you've done it or any kind of feedback, then I believe we also are going to be doing a weekly name draw. Is that right? For some prizes. And so hopefully, I'm all about rewards. I'm a very extroverted
Oh,
person. So if
yes.
somebody tells me I'm going to win something, I
That's
never
right.
win it, but I'm always there to try. So, we're really
I have won
hoping,
some
just
things. So
comment.
yeah. No, it
Yeah,
makes it
I'm
it makes it a
always.
little bit more exciting. There, it's nothing extravagant, although I do enjoy gift giving. Oh my gosh. And the Lord has really tested me this last year because I've not been able to be the gift giver that I am so accustomed to being. So while there will be the prizes and all the things, and eventually, you
Yeah.
never know, we'll
It's
get
just
bigger with
something
the gifts,
small.
but it is a little
Yeah.
something, and it's just because I love you.
And
No
we
other
want to
reason.
continue to build the community. Yeah, we want to
Right.
have this, female, like you said, a
Yes.
support group that we're able to do these things together. And even if it is
Yes.
virtually or whatever it is,
Whatever it
it's
is.
fun for us. So we want to make it fun
Yes.
for others.
Yes, yes. And I am really excited about it. I really am. Like, I don't know why it's taken me so long um to get here, but everything is a process and everything at the right time in the right situation or whatever. He's in control, not me. But yeah, I think about it, I'm like these are things that I used to do all the time. I know how to do this stuff. This is what I learned in my skincare business, was just how to be a good human and what that means. And while I care about people truly 100%, being with those women showed me how to truly love somebody 100%, no strings attached. You will probably never do anything for me. But do you know what? I'm okay with that because nobody can do anything for me. God can. I don't
Mm-hmm.
look to you for what you can do for me because, quite frankly, you can't do anything for me. You can love me to the best of your ability, or you could hate me with a huge passion, but that's not going to make me or break me. Like, I'm not looking
Mm-hmm.
for that. Um, and I didn't know how to be that person until then, until I learned with those women how to be that person, you know. Um, Trying to talk to people about skincare. It's like, oh my gosh, I hated to do it because I didn't want to hear no. Like there was but then I would just start reaching out to people and I would never even talk about my skincare because I didn't want to. I just wanted to talk to the people, right? I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that everybody was okay. And here we go. Because that's truly what I want. I want to know that people
Mm-hmm.
are okay. I want people to know that they can be okay. There is hope.
Absolutely.
I have found it. I know what it looks like to be at the rock bottom. And you know what? That's a pretty firm foundation to start building up. That's what I've
You can't
learned.
go down from rock bottom.
You
You can only
can't.
go up.
You can only go up. So it's a firm foundation as long as you're looking
Mm-hmm.
in the right direction, you know. And I want to help
Absolutely.
give direction for those that may need it because they don't know. Being a mom, a wife, a woman is hard. Today, even harder.
I agree. I agree. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a great month of August. And I'm really hoping whoever
Yeah, because
does
I hate
participate
August.
that.
Hate August.
Well,
Hate
why?
it.
Because of the heat or because of the start of the school year?
Well, all the
School
things,
year
but
doesn't bother you.
August, a lot of people die in August. And it's like,
Oh,
it's boom, boom, boom. And I'm
that
like,
got really dark really fast.
they really can with me. Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Oh,
a
goodness.
lot of good
Well, we're
comes in
going to have a
August
great
too.
August.
A lot of
Yeah, we're
good
going to have a
comes in
great August.
August. I found my Salem kitty. I wouldn't have him, he was found in August. My little baby. Love him,
Mm.
love him, love him. So there's that. My cousin, her birthday, she'll be celebrating her birthday, 21, I think, again for the 30th time or something.
Well,
So
we're going to
good
make
things
this a
can
great
happen.
August.
Good things can happen in August, so we're looking forward to that.
Yes. Good.
Yeah. So
All
I
right.
didn't think
Well,
so.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for everybody who watched
Yeah.
today. I mean, is there anything else you want to add about our challenge or any last minute comments?
No, but I am going to say this, and I think it sounds so corny, but I'm going to do it anyway because I don't think we ever have. Please like and subscribe and
Oh,
share
yeah.
if you. Right? I don't know. I hear people saying that at the end of their podcast. I like
Like
the
and
little thing
subscribe.
instead. Just put it on the bottom so I don't have to say it
Yeah.
because to me it's like, would you like to buy the eye cream? I don't want to do that. I don't want to force you to do it. If you don't want to like, you don't have to. If you don't want to subscribe, well then don't. But I'd like for you to because apparently it helps.
Or like at least like if there's somebody
Oh,
that you're
honey.
listening, like you listen to this is what I tell people all the time. If you're listening or watching this and you think of somebody, share it with them. Like
Yeah.
send them the link to watch it. Because again, we're just doing this to build that sense of community. So the more people that are involved in the
Yes.
community, I believe the more fun it's going to be. Because I even have plans to hopefully start like a Zoom Bible study so we can all hop on
That.
like once a
Yep.
month. So, but in order to do that, we have to build the community. We
Would
have to
you?
have,
Would you?
people who want to
Yep.
do it. So,
And I've done those, and those were fun with my group of ladies. Yeah, it was great. 6
yeah.
a.m. on Thursdays, and it was like, really, girl, you know me. It's like anything before 10. Pfft. But yeah, 6 a.m. I mean, it's important, and you get up for the
Yeah,
important things, and I got up for the important things.
I
And
agree.
I'm looking forward to it. I am excited. Other than that, was there anything I wanted to add? No. Um, I do love y'all. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody. We will see y'all next time.
All right.